Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Huncho. Just want to make a quick little recap video for the trades that we took today on SPY. So, first thing we're going to look at is the first call we made, which was the 536 calls. This was at 10:22, and I'm gonna show you guys why I took this trade. So, the reason why I took this trade, guys, is because off of this range that I was mentioning, this 528.90 key pivot area, I have these levels around this range as well that I kind of like use them as like my demand zones. So when I have like levels near my key pivots, depending like where it's at, I like to look at them as like supply or demand zones. And I was really looking at this 529.80, and it was holding up pretty nice, and not even just in during the market like open, right, but even overnight we got this huge pop overnight. This, I believe, was in the pre-market, like huge run up to the upside. So that was literally just showing me that there's definitely buyers present in this area here. So, and again, if we go back, we can go ahead and go on the, I would go on the 30-minute, but we can go back over here. Yeah, so same thing happened. If you guys see this, off the key pivot 529.80, it held up and a huge pop from last week. So this is why I was really looking at this range, guys. And I know a lot of people were bearish, which was the play of the day. That it was the biggest move, but I was reacting to what was present in front of me, and we capitalized off it. So yeah, we ended up going, especially this crazy pump candle right here. That really did it for us. I saw majority guys at like 50%, 60%. So depending on like the price action, guys, I usually end up exiting a majority part of my position depending on where we're at, and because I was seeing a lot of low volume and just a lot of choppiness right here, guys. You see this is not really beautiful price action. This is horrible to hold in. It's gonna wreck your cons. If this would have went south, it would have not do me so good. So, but at the end of the day, like, we got this nice move to the upside, and we ended up like taking profits. We took a lot near VWAP. So when I took some scales right here, and then we ended up getting a nice I think it was like 50% up here. So yeah, I took majority of my profits, or half of it, and then I just left a couple runners, and then we got this nice move, which really boosted my profits on this play. So yeah, that was the first play, guys. I ended up leaving all the rest of my runners like right around here because I was just seeing a lot of weakness, and it just looked like I wanted to dump. And I could have flipped to puts, but I just didn't really want to. I don't really like going to other plays like right after I make a play, guys. I'm not that type of trader. I like waiting for a setup. Sometimes like I can get I can get crazy and just call a lotto or something and try to chase something, but the way I wanted to play, because of how hard this market has been, and it's tough for a lot of people, and even including myself, trying to like adapt to it and read it, because it's almost like every day is a new market. It's I try to be a little bit more careful and try to not just mess around and try to look for quality setups, especially recently since I've been getting kind of cooked on certain plays. All right. So that was the first play that we took. Second one was the puts. This was all the way towards the end of the day. This was at 220, guys, and we got that flush to the upside. And I was telling my boy in the morning that because of the way it was set up, I was looking for a pop. Like, this was the pop I was looking for. I wasn't looking for a pop this aggressive, but I did want to see 535, but I didn't think it was going to be that aggressive because of the low volume in the morning. So I was like, maybe this might just end up flushing like right around here or something, not even hit high day. But yeah, guys, another thing, like, I'm gonna tell you guys, because I've seen this a couple times. When like price drops and then you kind of want to like try to enter on the pullback and then grab puts. A lot of people entered puts off of here. I saw a lot of people going puts, and they thought that it was going to break low a day and end up flushing. So many times I've been screwed over because I entered in plays like this early, and then I get like smoked by a move like this. So whenever you see like moves like that, just wait for the low day break. if you see the lower day break, especially like, in an area like this, we really want to be patient and get confirmation if this is actually going to keep moving to the downside. But yeah, you want to wait for confirmation. But since I saw this curling up again, this is twice, guys. Not even twice, but even like, previously, like I was showing you guys, it wanted to move up. So I was like, I'm gonna get in, and volume was increasing, so I got in calls, right? And it was a low risk, play. If it would have broke lower day, I would have been chilling. We had that level right here, so I was chilling. I wasn't too worried. So that's a little thing I like to look at, guys. If I see these like second rounds coming in, I'm just like, okay, yeah, this probably wants to push up or push lower. All right, so. And mind you, these levels right here are updated, guys. I know this was not during when I posted this morning. I just fixed them up right now, which are going to be levels that we're going to be looking in tomorrow. Now let's talk about the puts. So we saw this whole move down, and FOMC started at 130, and we broke the key pivot, guys. I could have gotten puts right here. I could have got puts right here and held through this whole entire chop. My cons would have gotten smoked. We could have ended up getting paid, but it wasn't worth all that, guys. As you guys can see, the key pivot broke, and we got a nice rejection off of the key pivot. You always want to see the reaction. You could have got puts right here. Puts off of this candle, you would have got paid right there, guys. So this whole move down, paid. Bam. Now, guys, this can always go lower. It can always go higher. So a lot of people were going in calls here, and that's fine, right? You could have gotten calls. This was the level, right? And I could have bought calls right here and capitalized off of that. But when I'm seeing this strong move to the downside, I'm always convinced, there can always be a pullback and just keep flushing. So I wasn't seeing much movement to the upside because these little sneak peeks, these little flushes, I like to look at those as kind of like little hints. And I'm just like, okay, the next round is going to be a big one. So we ended up taking puts right here. It was a little bit of a rough entry. I should have waited for the 90 EMA test, but I mean, we already did like twice, so this is why I took puts. But I didn't think it was gonna move up that strong. But I always try to wait for the close above the 90 EMA. I was down like 50%, guys. So yeah, it was a little bit hard to hold through. I get it, but I like to play my range. I like to play my setups. I don't really look at percentages or how much I'm down. I look at my levels, unless I'm like super down and there's no going back and the price action is just garbage and it's completely against me. I understand, but this move up doesn't scare me. It scared a lot of people, and that's fine. But for me, I'm just like, look, until I see a full candle close like one of these above here, I'm staying in the position. As you guys can see, couldn't even hold up and kept moving all the way down and played the whole entire range. Key pivot. Imagine holding puts from up here. That would have been a massive bag. But it was a 200% play that we got from here to here, guys. So imagine holding from up here. Oh man, that would have been like a 500% right there. But yeah, from range to range, key pivot to key pivot. Right off the 90 EMA, the pullback, we got the flush all the way down to and we ended up selling everything. We ended up scaling on the way down because the price action was really rough, guys, and especially on the contracts, was the end of the day, it was gonna wreck me completely if I would have held, and this would have been just one green candle to the upside. I would have been smoked. So, well, for my runners, right? But yeah, we ended up selling. Luckily, it hit fully our key pivot, and we got out fully. But yeah, this played out perfectly, guys. Like, just off the bounds, these levels are smacking, So yeah, I use my key pivots, and look, you could have played SPX over the key pivots and made another bag right there. So you always want to wait for these reactions, guys. But yeah, that's what I was looking at, guys, on SPY, and I'm gonna give you guys a little gem here. All right, a lot of you guys know about the VIX, okay? But I'm gonna show you guys how I chart the VIX. Some people don't really chart the VIX. I chart it. You should chart the VIX. And I got key pivots on the VIX. So this was at 10:22 when we took the first The first call, right? The first play, we got in calls, right? Okay. This key pivot, we got a nice rejection off it. Pull back, and it looked like it wanted to keep flushing. Okay, 1022. So at this candle right here, right? When you see that candle right there, okay, that's a bearish candle. So I'm looking for more downside on the VIX. Remember, when VIX goes down, SPY goes up. Okay, so just seeing that, I was confident in taking calls because look at that. We had this fat rejection and this rejection again, a pullback, and we had, basically this gap, and we could have filled it up. So we had nice room to the downside, to the next key pivot. So, I wasn't tripping. And look, to the T right there, to the penny, guys. Right to our next key pivot, which was 29.45. And as you guys can see, what time was that? This was at 11:25. If we look at SPY, my bad, guys. This Mac is cooked. Oh my gosh. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm using this old Mac here. I got to get a new one. So 11:25. You guys see that? It's the tip of it. All right. So you got to use SPY and VIX both together. And I'm gonna show you guys the next play we took. Okay. Over the pullback on the 90 EMA. What happened? What time was this? This was around like 220, 230. Okay, look. If we look at the VIX, let's go back. All right, we got above our key pivot. What time was this? See that? 220. So we're retesting the key pivot. And then look, once we got the pop off of it, I was fine taking puts here. Boom. We got to the move to the upside. So I look at the VIX a lot of times with my entries. If I'm looking for like big moves, I look at the VIX for confirmation. So yeah, use the VIX, guys. Dixie works as well. I don't really look at Dixie too much, but Dixie's fine to look at. I have it on, but mainly the VIX, guys. SPY and VIX is my bread and butter there. All right, so that's it for today, guys. I'm gonna try and do a little bit more recaps, kind of like just show you guys what's in my mind when it comes to these plays. I'm not a professional trader. I'm not some guru, guys. I'm a market speculator. I just try to make it, easy to understand for everybody, that's struggling or just wants to develop their own strategy. It's just, a system that has worked for me, and it's something that has, brought me profitability on the long term, and it works, right? The only thing you really got to work on to actually be successful, guys, is risk management and, just having a system. Okay, you got to have risk management. That's the number one thing. All right, because you can get these 500% plays, but if you don't got good risk management, you're gonna get smoked. Okay, so manage accordingly. Always, I always go in a position where if that position goes to zero, I'll still be fine. I'll show up the next day. Don't ever full port, guys. So hopefully this helped you out, guys. If you guys want more of these videos, just let me know. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, and join the Discord, guys. Central Capital. All right, share with your loved ones, family, and friends. Let's make this